Living pain here. Hope all is well. Day 343 of this 50-pound weight loss journey. Interesting day today. First day I've had a beer in almost 10 weeks. So I was trying to hold off till St. Paddy's Day, which is on the 17th, which is this week. And I was hoping, all the restaurants will be open and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized they're not gonna. And I said to Alice, we were driving around, what do you want to do today? She goes, I don't know. And so here's the trick. When someone says, if your spouse, especially women. So if you're a guy, your wife, you say, hey, where do you want to go for dinner? What do you want to do? Typically they go, what do you want to eat? I don't know. So here, I learned this from someone, and it's an awesome tip. What you do is you say to them, what do you think I want to eat? What do you think I want to do? And then, they look at it different. They go, oh, you want to go to McDonald's? Yes, that's what I want to do. So it's another way to find out. It's a different way to trick them, because as you know, for those who are married, have girlfriends, blah, blah, blah. What do you want? I don't know. What do you want? So anyway, first day back drinking a few beers at lunch. Weight-wise, 24 hours, up 5 pounds. Tell you why. My nephew came over yesterday. Alice brought out this big platter of taco chips, cheesies. She brought cheese. There was like kubasa, all kinds of stuff. Popcorn, bringing down to the Pig and Whistle. It's on the bar. And I'm a good boy. I was at like 1,500 calories, and then I start just and I'm drinking. I'm probably on to my 6th or 7th Malo 5. And next thing you know, the stuff's gone. I weigh on the scale. It's like 205. You drop 5 pounds in literally 24 hours. So, what do? You go out and you have a few beers. I'll have some fun tonight. Try not to overeat. We went for dinner, Boston pizza. I had a couple pieces of pizza, trying to be responsible. But we'll see what happens. So I want to tell a story, and I think it was Damien, someone was saying, tell more about the story of when you went to a 7-day fast and had to get an enema. So I'll tell you the story. I don't know how old I was. If I was to guess, I was probably around 34. My daughter was probably 2 or 3 years old at the time. She's 30 now, so it was probably 28 years ago. And my whole life has been like up and down and up and down and up and down. And weight right now does not bother me as much as it did when I was younger. So someone said about this thing you can go to, a 7-day fast. It's in, I think it was Nelson, BC. I lived in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So it was a 7-day fast. And I decided, okay, I'm going to go. So I buy a ticket from Winnipeg to Nelson, BC, which is probably, I don't know, $500-600. And then I get to Nelson, BC, and it's this really cool place. Like, it's a beautiful log cabin. It's big. It's really beautiful inside. You can see the logs, the beams, everything. And then they had like a little studio at the back for yoga and stuff. And back then, 28 years ago, I was doing some yoga. I've always been a little bit ahead of the curve. Started triathlons 30 years ago before the curve, yoga 28 years ago. I was the only guy, I think the only guy in the whole class back then. And so then catch a flight, and it's like 7 days, water fast. And there's, I think, about 6 or 7 other people that are there. So they have this 1 week, and some of the people are on a water fast, and some of the people are on a juice fast. And on the water fast, it was just me, and the other people were on a juice fast. And it was very, very new age, right? And in fact, what the whole plan was is you're there to fast, and there'll be some just like evening discussion around, in the living room, around the fireplace, that sort of thing. Again, a beautiful sort of cabin environment. And then every day it was going to be doing yoga, and the yoga teacher was the private yoga teacher to Woody Harrelson. And so for a year or more, wherever Woody Harrelson would go, because Woody was so into yoga, this yoga teacher would go. And he was your quintessential, if you were to draw a picture of the most yoga teacher, that's him. Skinny guy, everything thin about him, like Gandhi, and then dark hair and a beard, and totally like the most flexible, craziest guy. And then he would do yoga with you that it was almost like you were at the Ringling Brothers circus, because he would be sitting there, you'd be on his knee, you'd have, I don't know, shoulders, hands, I can't remember, but I just know that he was holding you up and you're straddling, and it's, 2 people yoga. It was like the craziest thing. It was pretty cool. And then the thing is, he could feel your body, in terms of loosen up a little, So it was very, very cool. So the way it worked is we got there, dinner time, give me my glass of water. And then the idea was every single night. So, you're spending all day. So let me bring back a bit. So it's this beautiful cabin. They have in the upstairs, I think there was like probably 4 bedrooms. And again, really beautifully appointed, all that sort of stuff. You could see the logs on the inside. Like it was a huge cabin, like commercial grade sort of thing. And then the whole thing was, okay, you're going to fast during the day. There's a naturopathic doctor who was like 6'2" and about this wide. He was probably 260 pounds, wore kind of all white. He looked like a painter. And then the idea is every night you're going to get an enema, and then every day during the day you're going to be doing yoga. So the first night you're there, and again, I signed up. I didn't read the brochure or nothing. It's like the first time you sign up for an Ironman, whatever. It's like, just sign up and then shoot first, ask questions later. So I get there. I didn't know what to expect. Next thing you know, you're there at night. They have you on this, it's almost like a water board. And they have a pail of water, and it's like, when you buy commercial paint and it's in those white pails that are, I don't know, 5 gallons or whatever, 10 gallons. So it was like one of those white pails they'd fill with water, and they put a hose at the bottom of the pail, and then something, and then they would stick it up your rear end as you're lying on this water board. And all of that water from the pail, with the gravity from the hose, would go fill you up. And then once you were filled up, they would pull the hose out and then you're on this water board and you kind of release everything and everything gets released. Next thing you know, I guess there was another bowl down below. So I think I lasted a total of 3 days between the yoga and the enemas. Yeah, it might have been 3 days, 4 days max. It was like, do I have to do this? Do I have to do the yoga? Do I have to like have an enema every night? And they finally agreed, no, you don't have to do it. And then what they had was they actually had a hot tub outside, just there was kind of a little area. And so I'd have a hot tub. And then back then I'd want to go for a run. And they would tell me like, you're fasting. It's not what you should be doing. You should not be exerting yourself. A walk is more than enough of what you want to do and all that. Of course, I didn't listen. So I'd go out for a little jog and I didn't realize I was in Nelson, BC. It's a lot of mountain lions and stuff like that. And I'm sure, looking back now, they probably could smell the fact that this guy's weak. He hasn't had any food, all that sort of stuff. And I don't know, it didn't register at the time, and they were a little freaked out. The cool thing about it was in a 7-day period, I lost 13 pounds. I think it was 13 or 14 pounds. And the other people there was I think maybe 6 total with myself. And I probably paid $1,000 or $2,000 to drink water for 1 week. They were on a fruit plan, and they're like, I was ready to leave, and they were on 2 weeks. I was there 1 week on water. They were there 2 weeks on fruit juice. They were two flight attendants from American Airlines. They would have been though 2 flight attendants from like the early flights of American Airlines. So they were probably, I don't know, in their 60s, early 60s, 60, 58, 60, somewhere in there. It was, back 20 years ago. And they said to me before I left, they go, man, you sure look a lot better. I guess just drinking water and letting your body. And they go, I think we're going to take the second week and go off the juice and just go onto the water. I was like, well, that's good. And so it was, the one thing they did is they would get into at night, not like Monopoly games or anything like that, but they would do, one of the nights they did this thing where they were reading your irises. So it was like, I took my glasses off and the guy would, I don't know if he had like a magnifying glass, and he's like looking into your eye, looking at your iris, and going around. So then when he gets to me, and he takes it off and he looks into the iris and he says, he goes something, I forget what doctor it was or whatever, like the king doctor of irisology. He goes, because he would talk to the other girl, I read your eye and you're peaceful and you're this and you're that, and then would read that, and then he got to mine, he's looking closely, and he goes, you're crazy. He says, your eyes are the eyes of people that end up in mental institutions. That's what he tells me. And then he gets to the point where they're so unique that I'm going to end up in a mental institution, that I'm crazy, that all the other people that were at this, like I say, there was 1, 2, 3, I can remember 3 of them, myself 4, There might have been one other, like it was a small group. And then the next thing you know is he's got everybody coming around looking at my eyes. You know, they got their magnifying glass, they're looking at my eyes, and he's going, "Do you see this?" "Oh yeah, I see that in his eyes." "Yeah, you know, like the people that have that are crazy. They become mentally ill, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, I was actually pretty proud of it. I thought, oh man, I got special eyes, right? It's a long time. I can't to tell this story. I forgot about it until I started telling the story. So at the whole end of it, I said, no more enemas after 3 or 4 days. You know, and at the end, then there was no more yoga. I didn't want to do that. I would sit in the hot tub. And then, of course, because it's a very new age sort of place, you know, there's no such thing as a TV. There was maybe some books. The rooms all had like incense sort of smell. You know, it wasn't that it was burning, but it's, you know, got all that new age sort of smell and stuff like that. So at the end, I was pretty proud though every morning. And I was just, it was like, I think I would call home. And this was before cell phones. So maybe I didn't call home. I might have been there. So if I did, it would have been like, "Oh, Alice, I can't believe this. I want to get out of here so bad." That's what the call would have been like. And so I just muscled through, right? And then at the end of 7 days, you're down, I think it got me down to 178 pounds. So back then I would have been like 190 and I would have been freaking out. Now I'm like, man, if I can get to 190, which was 10 pounds ago and now it's 15 because of my retention of water. So I finished it, get out of the fast, and then there happened to be a person that was there who was from Ontario. I was living in Manitoba, and she was similar in age, a little bit older, and so we had to go catch our plane to get back. So I remember going with her, and we went into this, I don't know, like a Vietnamese Thai sort of restaurant, and there was soups and all this stuff, and I just remember eating like crazy, and I think I gained at least 5 pounds back or whatever. And you look back on it and you go, you know, prime of your life. I think it was like a holiday. So my family decided to go somewhere like the cottage, the beach, somewhere fun. And then I go, okay, no, I'm gonna go to a resort where they're only gonna feed me water. And, you know, so that just gives you an example back then of how much, you know, weight, gaining weight, who you are, all that stuff mattered. And I think to a certain degree it still does. As I've gotten older, I didn't really care as you get older. I'm pretty little bit proud of that, you know what, the only reason I'm starting to want to lose weight and get back in shape is A, health, longevity, B, I feel better. You know, like my true self is not that fat guy. My true self is a thinner guy, probably around 185. And as I mentioned before, whatever weights you are, it changes who you are. You know, if you're really heavy, there's a heavy Brian or heavy living pain. Then there's the mid living pain, and then there's the low weight living pain. And each group that you go through, you become a little bit different in terms of your personality. You know, as you get thinner and in shape, your personality's like, oh, I'm up, spry, you know, I'm gonna go up for a run, stuff like that. And then at the other end of the extreme, if you're heavier and all that stuff, you're dragging your ass. It's like, what's for dinner? Hey, I'm gonna eat that. Next thing you know, you're eating chocolates, candies, whatever. You're doing whatever. So it's a whole different personality and lifestyle, though. I can tell you what I like right now. Just hit the mic. is my ribs don't hurt. That was a big reason why I started losing weight, was my ribs would hurt, that I would sit there and my stomach was so big that it would be leaning on my ribs and my ribs would hurt, and then I'd be like breathing like this all the time. And I think I'm a heavy breather, period, because even, as I'm less weight, I still, I have a heavy breath to begin with. Back then it was like really bad, where even if I was talking to a customer walking around the kitchen or whatever, I'd be like catching my breath and all that. And I was like, man, So that was the heavier Brian, and then there's been the lighter Brian, which I'm only 10 pounds away, but I can feel myself getting thinner. And finally, having a day, 2-3 days off, not doing running, biking, doing some weights, that sort of thing, it's been absolutely helpful. I can feel it's the right thing. Everything just seems to be healing a little bit better. My calves, earlier today, my right calf was a 0 on 10, where I couldn't feel any pain. My left calf, 2 on 10, where I could still feel a little bit of pain. Been doing everything in terms of the adrenal fatigue, sort of vitamins, supplements, staying away from sugar, staying away from salt, and until last night. And then even today I had a little bit of sugar stuff. Now all of a sudden I feel my calf. I don't know if it's psychological. I don't think it is, though. It has been working. Maybe it's placebo effect, whatever. But on Monday, I start my half Ironman training. I don't know if I'll be able to run, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to bike, that the pain won't be there. And then it's a matter of trying to figure out where to swim, and hopefully I can get back to running. Anyway, that's it for me, Living Pain. Hope you like the story of me up in the cabin fasting on water and spending like $2,500 to do it. Over and out, Living Pain. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.